Alright, I'm going to make a video here to show off some of these really neat smoky skeletal pieces that I've been digging here in Bismarck. Actually not very far from my house. They're really interesting pieces with very nice zoned smoky coloration. You can see this one has actually got a little bit of a sort of a phantom look to it. You see how dark this smoky rope is on this side, but some of these have anhydro bubbles in them. They're terminated all over, which means that they have faces all the way around. You know, they're not. You look at this from a distance, it looks kind of jagged, but when you really inspect it, it's all covered with little faces. And this one is very nice and clear. It's an excellent example. I've got a whole tray here I'm going to try to show off here. Now, a lot of these have still got dirt on them. I just washed these off and rinsed them just to see kind of what I got going on here. You can see there's still a lot of dirt stuck in here. That'll all come out of there. It just needs to be scrubbed a little bit with some water and a toothbrush, but I didn't really have time to go through and really clean them as good as I would like to. Normally I'd clean them with a pressure washer, but my pressure washer is put up for the winter until the freezing temperatures kind of go away. Now, this is a really neat piece. It's a really good size, and it's got this nice glossy water clear point formed on this chunk of matrix. It's got nice internal skeletal structure. You can see there's a whole bunch of voids inside of this piece. The base is all terminated. It's just not as fancy as that piece right there on the top. These are pretty interesting looking, a lot more so than some of the others. A lot of times I just get ones that are perfectly formed double terminated pieces, but these have got really heavy skeletal structure inside and some really interesting shapes with sort of angular faces on a lot of them, and just some really unusual stuff. I've been walking this location for over a decade now. No kidding, over a decade. And I just now finally found out where they was all coming from. I've been picking up loose ones off the surface for quite a long while, and I just now finally discovered where all the good stuff's coming from. I don't know if that's going to show up on the video, but I just seen a little bubble moving in the tip of that one. Oh, there is a really mobile bubble right there. I don't know if that is going to come out on the video or not, but to get it on video I'd probably have to use a backlight or something. There's several mobile bubbles in this piece that I've seen without even really checking it. I just saw them kind of moving around as I was moving it for the camera. I really like this one. This one's perfectly formed, no damage, really nice and clear for this type of quartz. It doesn't have a lot of voids in it so that you can see, you know, how clear it is. Beautiful piece. It's taken me so long to get the videos of these going and to show these off because I injured my right hand while I was digging these. They were in a very hard sandstone, and I had to hammer a digging bar through the sandstone beside all the crystals to be able to get them out, and it was quite an ordeal. This is a really neat piece right here. Check out, here's what I was talking about, those angular faces. Look at the way the face is formed on that. It's a whole bunch of little faces on there. And what's I think is even more impressive is when you look, you can see how this side's got a little bit of contact with the sandstone on it, and there's a little bit of contact with the sandstone on this side. So at the point that this piece came out, the seam was only that wide. if you can imagine my fingers being sandstone, that's what the seam looked like. And this big piece formed in a seam that was that narrow, which is pretty impressive. Here's another good one. I love this smoky. How this smoky comes down and whips around, and it's really pretty. Very nice darky. Nice dark smoky color. Twin termination. No damage on him. Beautiful example. You can see the light reflecting off of the voids inside of this piece. There's actually little skeletal voids inside of there. It's just areas that did not get filled in with quartz during growth. You can see this base here is all little angular faces. It's not broken. Now this is a real Jimmy little guy right here. These are what we call hopper faces. You can see how this face did not completely fill in. It's called a negative skeletal growth. This piece grew so fast there was not enough material to grow a typical crystal face, so it grew this stair-stepped voided face, and it's quite a Jimmy little piece. Got another one similar to that right here. It's got some of the, you can see how the face right there, it's got a little step in it. It's not completely filled in. That one too. That's causing a very rapid crystal growth. This one looks a little bit dull, but it's not. It's just still got some dirt on it. During the winter time, it's hard for me to clean crystals outside and get them nice and spotless clean the way I typically do. Here's another one out of that really narrow section of the pocket where you can see where it was in contact with the sandstone and in contact on this side, so that the seam was only that wide. But even though the seam was only that wide, this large point formed inside of there, which is pretty darn impressive. And, well, see if I can get that. Whoa, there's a zippy little bitty bubble in there. There's no way I'm going to get that on camera, but there's a tiny little pinpoint bubble that moves the entire distance between my two thumbs here in this tip. And then there's also, let's see if I can get that thing to move. There it is. If you look up here above my finger, this thumb right here, right beside it, there's a bubble inside of there. There it went. I moved that time. Yeah. That little bubble right there. Cool. I rinsed these off so quick I didn't get to really search them for bubbles, so I'm just now getting to see some of these bubbles. This piece has got some incredible minerals in the tip of it. I don't know what kind of minerals these are, but there's multiple minerals. This up here, this color is not dirt or anything, you know, detracting from it. That's actually mineral inclusions inside the tip of the piece. And you can see I did not do a good job cleaning this one. It's still got a lot of dirt on it, but you get the idea. You can see it's a nice DT piece with a very impressive mineral phantom in the tip. Here's another really nice piece. It's got a kind of a bent sort of shape to it, or a dish shape. I love these, and it's been a long time since I've been able to find this many all in one go, because I've been digging the same spot since I was a teenager, and you know, eventually there ain't no more crystals there. I see some bubbles in this guy. I don't know if I'll be able to get them on camera or not, but this neat guy's got some bubbles in him. Very pretty, very clear. Nice smoky zoning, fully formed DT. How'd that get in there? I can tell by the way this one looks, this isn't from Bismarck. This one's from Point Cedar. It's interesting, the crystals from Bismarck that I find have got a bit of a different look to them than the ones from Point Cedar. This piece is from Point Cedar, but it was dug just a couple days before these other ones were. See, it's really glassy and clear. Neat looking piece. Here is some really high grade little Arkhamers. These are the ones that everybody loves. People have told me these look more like Herkimer diamonds than Herkimer diamonds do. Look at how gemmy these diamonds are and the color of them. This is just, they're not cut. This is how they naturally form. I just dug them up and rinsed them off. You cannot tell me that that is not just beautiful and very impressive. A lot of people in Bismarck find these loose in their yards, and it's very hard to find where they're actually coming from, because these form in seams that are just like that. I mean, just tiny little seams, and one diamond will come out and then it'll be another 3 or 4 inches before there's another diamond in the seam. So they're very difficult to locate actual seams of these. And the ones that do make it up to the surface to be found on the surface will oftentimes shatter and be damaged due to freezing, because they've got little water pockets inside of them. Now watch this. I've got a whole paper towel here full of these guys. I spent 8 hours on my hands and knees picking diamonds out of a seam and came up with this. Now, there is a lot of money in here. I don't want you to think they're getting damaged, because these are so lightweight that them rubbing together a little bit isn't going to hurt them. I would never do this with larger crystals. You see there's a really neat little scepter piece right here. And these are beautiful pieces. Look at this. Look at this. I don't know if it's going to show up on there, but this thing has very large water chambers inside of it. Very large voids. And now these little guys right here, there you go. Look in the middle. In the middle of this piece, you see those little clear chambers inside. Those are voids that are filled with water. And these, I would typically retail these for anywhere from about $20 to $30 a piece. So there is quite a good amount of money on this paper towel. Quite a good amount of money. Because I'm not sure just how many there is there, because I was just picking them and putting them on this towel as I was rinsing, but there's a lot. I think that's all I brought out. I think. Let's see. Yep, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video.